Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to be pulling an engine out of this Land Rover Discovery. The engine's making some not so great noises, so we got to pull it out, tear it down, see what's wrong with it, hopefully fix it, put it back together, and get this Land Rover back on the road. Well, there you have it. Engine is finally out of the Rover. Took a lot longer than I was hoping for. It's kind of laid out right now. I didn't mean to be spending this much time on it tonight. Wanted to get home early. The reason it took so long is Land Rover puts a lot of these really small half-inch bolts, not even half-inch, 3/8" bolts. They put a bunch of them in instead of like a couple of bigger bolts like you'd see on, I don't know, a GM or something like that. So that may take longer than I was hoping for. I had to lower it down a little bit outside, down in the engine compartment so I could get some of these bolts on the top here. So it's late. I'm gonna call it in. I'm dirty. My hands hurt. I'm hungry. I think I'm gonna go get some Chick-fil-A. All right, so now my favorite part, tearing down the engine to find out what went wrong. Okay, so just pulled the valve covers off and not the best as I would have hoped. It's kind of sludgy underneath those valve covers, which not super thrilled about. It's kind of thick and caked on, especially on the rocker arms. So curious to see how it's going to look once we take the intake off. Alright, got the intake off. Let's see what's underneath this valley pan, if I can get it off. Hoping the rest of this will not be as bad as the top of the heads are. But we shall see in a minute. Okay, survey says not bad. Not bad at all. Actually, much better than the top of the heads. Alright. We shall keep going on. Get these heads off now. So I got the oil pan off, and actually in here it doesn't look too bad. There is dirt in the oil pickup, which is not good. But then you come over here to the oil pan and there is sludge and bearing material all inside. That right there, that is all metal chunks, which is not good. And it gets even worse in there. Lots of metal, especially back there. It's pretty bad too. So let's see if we can find out which of these is our culprit. Not those two. Not those. Maybe that one. Maybe that one. There we go. These two are our culprits. That one's got a little bit. You hear that? That is not a good sound. That is not a good sound at all. So this one's not nearly as bad, but it's not good. And that would be our rod knock right there. So oil starvation issue. The oil pump probably went bad on this. So I will get these apart and we shall see if there's any bearing left in there at all. Alright, so I just went to pull off the oil pickup tube and found all of these little bits and pieces came falling out of the oil pickup tube. Now, I've never seen that before, but those are pieces of the oil pump. So the oil pump has completely fallen apart, and that is why we have bearing problems, because the oil pump has no more pieces in it anymore. So that's gonna be interesting to pull that apart, but I have never seen that before. Very interesting. Okay, so I got all the pistons out, and actually all of the crank looks good except for 1 and 2. 1 and 2 were the ones that had the noise, and that crank is all scored up. So I'm going to take this to engine guy, see if that can be underturned. If not, we'll have to get a new crank. And then you can also see these bearings are completely mashed and flattened and no longer the proper bearing shape. And it kind of messed up this rod a bit as well, so I'm not sure if we're gonna have to get new rods for this. So I'm gonna take off this front cover now, and actually I think I spotted a crack right about there in that front cover, so we'll see what that's about. And then take the crank out to see if the block is still okay. If the block's still okay, I think we'll take it to the engine guy, have him completely redo, go over everything, new bearings, and put it back together for us. Okay, took the front cover off. All these little oil pump pieces came out. Looks like the back of the oil pump is cracked. Potentially the front of the front cover is cracked. Hard to tell. Something's all been mashed in here. And what may have happened that may have caused all of this, it looks like maybe this woodruff key, the oil pump spun on this woodruff key. And that could be why all this started to begin with, but no way to know that for sure. So all we know is that lots of stuff's gotta get fixed. Well, kind of the worst thing has been realized. It looks like on the number 2 bearing it got spun. There's a pretty sizable lip in there now. I'm not sure if that can be machined out or not. So that's a little unfortunate. Not exactly what I wanted to see right there, but oh well. Well, there we have it. Finally have the engine apart. Figured out what was wrong with it. Oil pump completely shattered inside the casing, wrecked the casing, ruined the bearings on the rod bearings on 1 and 2, ruined number 2 main bearing, ruined the crank. Not sure if this engine is salvageable. It may not be, so we may have to get a new engine to put back in the Rover. But you know, that happens. So hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Do me a favor, let me know what you think about it in the comments below.